Hey everyone, welcome back to make live stream classes. I hope you enjoyed the class. We're going to continue on with an action that we were working on last week. We did a couple of actions that included stepping on the sword, and that also included pushing the elbow, which is this one. What we're going to do today is going to be a continuation of those. You can watch the full videos on this channel, but we're going to do a quick review of them, and then we're going to move on to the next action. So we're going to start with a review of pushing the elbow and how we got in there. Then we're going to move down to stepping on the sword because he tried to evade the action. But the action we're going to do today is if he doesn't get back out of the way. And so that action is going to include going to be how we get into this throw. And this type of throw we see in manuscripts all over. Before we get into it though, want to do a little housekeeping. We are going to start making these live stream classes 30 minutes instead of an hour. The editing and the back end stuff is creating a little bit of a problem, but I want to continue teaching. So we're going to make these classes 30 minutes instead of an hour long. And then we will, of course, still have our 30-minute classes for the students of the school as well as the Patreon page subscribers. So if you'd like more classes, please take a look at our Patreon page and we can do more study there. So now let's move into the actions that we were practicing last week. We're starting in guard and we're going to be pushing the elbow. One of the things we focused at on the elbow is this is the Pisani Dasi copy. And with the Pisani Dasi, we see his hand around his arm. But when, oh, wrong one. This is the Pisani Dasi one for the elbow push. When we look at this one, you can see his thumb here on the guy's arm. So his thumb isn't around it. And that's one of the things that we were talking about to be able to get the best control. The picture from the Getty has us doing this. So if we go into that, we're standing here. Thank you, sir. You're welcome. We were doing this against a thrust to the face. So I'm going to start an open iron door. I'm going to come through. I'm going to capture it. I'm leaving my sword in this angle, so my false edge is on his. I had done an accrescimento, then I do a mezza volta, and I leave my thumb and my fingers together so that when I push, I adjust his shoulder. So let's do that one more time, please. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to move. Go ahead, check measure. Great. So he comes through, and I push him out of the way. Now, watch what happens to his body when I put my thumb on top of his elbow. Check measure.
Okay, check and measure.
That's a nice one.
Thank you.
I'm not really doing a lot other than pushing him back a little bit. But as soon as I keep my thumb with my fingers, move this way, just there we go. Go ahead. Okay. I collapse his body. And the reason his body collapses is because his shoulder moves. Let's switch sides and do that again.
Mm-hmm. Watch closely right in this spot here for what is going to happen to me.
Check measure.
Checking measure.
Okay. The first one I'm going to do, I'm going to put my thumb away from my fingers so it's on top of his arm. And I can't see because of the glare. I'm on.
Yeah, you're on.
So he comes through. I accrescimento. I mezza volta with my hand extended. I put my thumb on his arm. And as I do that, I push his arm down and into his body. And there's some movement, but now it's muscle to muscle. But when I keep them together,
can you see how that just lifts right up right there? One more time and hold.
Yes, check measure.
Check and measure.
Nope, go back. Don't give it to me. You're giving it to me.
All right.
That's what we're looking for, is that shoulder movement there. And then I roll his shoulder, and then I can push him out of the way. Now we'll just continue through it. Check measure.
Check and measure.
Go to the other side of my head.
Sure.
So that's the thrust that's coming into my face. I'm not. Okay, great. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my action. If he steps back out of my push, that's okay, because the master's given us a thing that we can do then too. We do the same action. As I come forward to do this, all he does is step back. I'm on my false edge of my sword, on the false edge of his sword. As he steps back, I just push down, and then I can step on his sword. And my sword comes up. Let's do that again. Check measure.
Check and measure.
There's a little bit difference between this time and last time. Last time I started with my right foot forward and I did a tuta volta. This time I'm starting with my left foot forward and doing an accrescimento. But in either case, what I'm doing is, I'm going to drop logo over my head. That's the attack coming in on this line. Go ahead and recover. If I start with my left foot forward, go ahead. I'm still moving my head offline. Go ahead and recover. If I start with my right foot forward and I tuta volta, I'm still moving my head offline. So I can do it with either foot forward. It really depends on what my next action is going to be. For this one, I want to start with my right foot forward. I'm going to switch it around to go back to where we were. I'm starting with my right foot forward. Check measure, please.
Check and measure.
Great. He throws his attack. I tuta volta. I cover. I reach forward. He steps back. I just push down. Step. And now here I'm at his wrist. And this is where we get into the next picture. I'm not wrapping around his arm, and I'm not grabbing his arm.
Here.
Instead, what I'm doing is I'm putting my fingernails on his wrist. So I get kind of like a monkey paw or a knuckle punch kind of position. And then, because I've got that, go ahead and move. He's pushing into my long bones. But if I even keeping my thumb with my fingers, go ahead and move. I can't control him there. And if I grab, go ahead and move. He's going against my thumb. I have no structure behind the control I'm trying to take out of his arm. So if we can do that again. Check measure.
Check and measure.
Okay, the attack comes in. He steps back. I just push down. And then I've got that. And I've got control of his arm. Then I've got my sword up high. Let's switch sides, please. Check measure.
Check and measure.
The attack comes in. He gets out of my way. Recover. No, just to here. I've taken him outside. I'm on my false edge. I don't turn my sword. Go ahead and recover. I just keep it in the same line. That now puts my true edge on his flat, meaning I can step in with my right foot, and now my hand is on his wrist, and I've got this position here, or what we see in Fior is this position. So let's do that again, please.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to move. Check measure.
Check and measure.
He attacks. He steps back. And there's our action. And what Fior says is, I will either bend your sword or knock it out of your hand. Or, well, let's get to his words. You aimed a thrust at me, and I beat it to the ground. Do you see how you are now unprotected and can be struck? There's the elbow push. When we get into the stepping on the sword, the Fior says, the opponent struck at my head, and I beat his sword to the ground, coming to the position you see depicted here. Now, after forcing you to turn away, I will aggressively wrap my sword around your neck. That's what we covered last time. This time, however, he doesn't step back, but I'm not able to push his elbow because I'm too close. Maybe he stepped in on me. Check measure, please.
Check and measure. I'm going to go to this side.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm here. And now he's still moving, so this doesn't work, so I've covered him. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just step through. That puts my leg right behind his leg and my arm across his chest. So I end up here. And let's take a look at that picture real quick. I can do that.
Yes, sir.
So when we look at that picture, in the Pisani Dasi, here's the picture from the Pisani Dasi, and I'll add these in here. So the picture from the Pisani Dasi, he says, I have sending you to the ground in my thoughts. Again, you are uncovered so that I can strike you. The thing about the Pisani Dasi is it doesn't give us a lot of information. When we get into the Getty, however, and we start looking at the picture of the Getty, the master says, because I turned you by pushing your elbow, I have quickly come to this position, and from here, I can throw you to the ground where you will no longer be able to fight me or anyone else. So this action of the sweep, excuse me, this action of the sweep is off of the elbow push.
Check and measure.
The attack comes in. I cover with a tuta volta. I step forward. I push. No, go ahead and stay where you're at.
Okay.
Because I'm off this action.
Mm-hmm.
So I've crossed his body. From here, I'm going to turn my hand over to go across his body. Rotate his face with me. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going. Back up. So now I'm here. And then I take one more step. And that's what pushes him offline. And when we look at this illustration, we cannot see the scholar's hand. We can't see this guy's hand, but we can see his elbow. His elbow's up, which means his thumb is down. So that tells us where his hand is. Another thing about this illustration is that when we look at it, this guy here, his leg that is shaded is bigger than the leg that has the garter. That tells us that the shaded leg is closer to the artist. So the leg that has the garter is not just moving forward, it's moving away. So if we take this position, so the camera itself is the artist, and then we do this drill again. And I am going to be on this side. So if you'll stand there for me.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I start here. The attack comes in. I cover. I step forward. I push his arm out of the way. I step forward. Then, at this point, my left leg is closer to the artist than my right leg. But as I step, I'm taking that knee out of the way with my thumb down and my elbow up, and that really controls him. Let's do it again, switch sides. Come this way. There we go.
Good.
Check measure.
Check and measure. We're going to go this side.
Thank you. Check measure again. I'm going to get out of your way. Go for it. No, go straight for me. I'm going to move my head. So that's the blow coming in. Good. Let me switch feet. I had the wrong foot forward. Do it again, please. I'm going to move my head.
Okay.
There's the blow coming in and the distance it's moving to. He does his action. I step forward. I cross. And there's where I get that action. And that's why it's important that the leg with the garter is smaller than the leg that is shaded, because that's telling us he's not just stepping behind his leg. He's taking his knee out with that step. One more time, please. Check measure.
Okay. You want just straight to the
straight
side?
for me.
Okay.
There's the blow coming in. I'm going to do it. There's where I move his shoulder. There's where I turn my hand over. There's where I shift his knee.
Oh, that was a good one.
Good?
Good.
Let's do that again, please.
Yes, sir.
How much force did I put in on you?
Next to none. I don't feel a lot of force pressing on me, but I can feel how my balance is completely disrupted and my structure is twisted and crumpled backwards.
Let's take a look at that crumpled position.
Sure.
So let's start again.
Okay.
Check measure.
Center line.
Yep, please.
Yes, sir.
So that's the blow coming in. He comes through. I cover. I push that elbow, that shoulder up. Now, there's the beginning of the action. Then, as I turn my hand over, I step into the middle of his feet. And because my thumb is down, I'm now able to rest my hand on his deltoid, which means he has this shoulder back, his left shoulder back, his right foot forward. Now, go ahead and step back out of the way. Easy to do that. Come back to where you were. So now, I step in, and I take that, and I just push the support out from underneath him. I'm going to go ahead and drop you now, okay?
Yes, sir.
Check measure.
Check and measure.
Well, that's a good one. And I just kind of walk right through them. Good?
Good.
Thank you very much.
Very welcome, sir.
I'm going to do that again. I'm going to do it from this angle so you can see it. And then we'll switch it around because I want you to get it from multiple angles. So if you'll stand there.
Good position?
Yeah, but can you move that scabbard, please?
Yes, sir. That would be uncomfortable to fall on. So, here?
Yeah, how's that look in the screen?
Looks good. We both have each other there and a good view of your back, but we have an angle.
Check measure.
Okay, center line still?
Center line.
Okay.
There's the blow coming in. Okay. And I don't need to push him hard. Got it?
Got it.
So let's switch sides over here.
How's this?
Come towards me. More. There we go.
Okay. Check and measure.
Let's actually go to here. There we go.
How's this angle?
Nope. I want you here. I want your back at him.
Okay. Good.
Good. Check measure. I'm not going to hold it. All right.
Okay.
Ready?
Check and measure.
You happy?
Can we try that one
Sure.
again, please?
Oh, that was good.
That's a much better
That's
one.
right to my ear.
Yep.
Okay. Shoulder up, hand over, 1, 2, and he falls down. That's when I can drop into my half sword or whatever I want to do. When you're looking at these manuscripts, all of these manuscripts, there's no accidental positions in it. Just like the action where we step on our opponent's sword. Let's do that one. So I'm going to go for your elbow, then you'll step back.
Yes, sir.
Check measure. I'm not gonna move. I'm
Okay.
gonna center line.
Center line. Okay.
Good. Hold on. Okay.
Okay.
So he comes through. I cover that. I reach for that, but he steps back. So I just drop my hand down. Now, at this point, if you look, that's what you're seeing in the manuscript. So if you count it and you think his thumb is around, it looks like he has 6 fingers. He only has 5 because his thumb is right with his fingers and his fingertips are on his opponent's arm. So there's nothing accidental in these manuscripts. They have a reason for everything they draw. Pay attention to it. The size of the leg or the quillins will give you perspective of where they're stepping, which edge of their sword they're using. The bodies are not drawn facing one another because the artist and the master want you to see more information. And if they draw them facing, you're going to lose a lot of information. So pay attention to all those aspects within the artwork. They all have a reason. As Brian Stokes says, there are several corrections to hand position. And if he's got the artist scraping off the artwork and then redrawing it because it was wrong, that tells you how important what we are seeing truly is. Are you good with that?
Yes, sir.
Let's switch sides. Yeah, that'll work.
Gonna check measure.
Check measure. Good. So the attack comes in. And then I've got what I need.
Oh, it's okay.
So what I'd like to thank you all for watching this. Again, our new format is we're going to be going for 30 minutes, not an hour. And I was a little bit late today because of editing work I was doing on other things. So I apologize for that. But we're going to be in a 30-minute format in our live stream classes. Then we also have longsword, side sword, and rapier classes for the regular school students that are done on Zoom. But those Zoom classes are also available to anybody who is pledging $10 and above on the Patreon page per month. So thank you very much for joining us. John, thank you for your help.
You're very welcome, sir.
Stay safe out there, take care of yourself, and we'll see you when this is all over. Till then, all the best.